Now let us take certain technical aptitude questions in operating systems. So we'll start with the re-entrancy. What or explain the concept of re-entrancy. So first of all, it is a useful memory saving technique for your multi-programmed time sharing systems. A re-entrant procedure is one in which multiple users can share a single copy of a program during the same period. This is important. This multiple users, they're able to share the single copy of the program during the same period. Okay. Then reentry has two key aspects. First is the program code cannot modify itself, and the local data of each user process must be stored separately. That is the permanent part of the code, and the temporary part is the pointer back to the calling program and the local variables used by that program. So each execution instance is called as the activation. It executes the code in the permanent part, but has its own copy of local variables or parameters. So the temporary part associated with each activation is known as the activation record. Generally, the activation record is kept on the stack. A re-entrant procedure can be interrupted, and this is called by interrupting program and still execute correctly on returning the procedure. What is Bilady's anomaly? See, uh, what is your idea that if you do not have enough frame, okay, frame allocation is not that much for the pages, what you will do? The basic or the intuitive idea to solve this problem is to increase the frame. Will increase the frame, the number of page faults will be less. But the Bilady anomaly is also known as first in first out anomaly. So usually on increasing the number of frames allocated to a process virtual memory, the process execution is faster because you have fewer or less page faults. But sometimes reverse happen. What I was talking about. That is the execution time increases even when more frames are allocated to the process. This is the Bilady's anomaly. So this is true for certain page reference patterns also. What is a binary semaphore? What is its use? See, binary means 0 or 1, and semaphore is for process synchronization. Binary means 0 1, semaphore is for process synchronization. So, a binary semaphore is one which take only 0 and 1 as its value, and they are used to implement the mutual exclusion and synchronize concurrent processes. So, when you have concurrent processes, you want to have a mutual exclusion between those processes, and you want also them to synchronize. This is binary semaphore. What is thrashing? What do you mean by thrashing? Thrashing is a phenomena in virtual memory scheme when the processor spends most of its time swapping pages rather than actually executing the instructions. So this is due to an inordinate number of page faults. If some page fault has occurred in what happens, the page has to be bought from the disk, so this page will be bought, and then again page fault. So when a page fault is there and the system goes to the processor spends the time, or processor time is wasted, or there is a latency or time lag or time delay, that is only going for no useful work but rather than swapping page in and out. This is thrashing. List Kaufman condition that lead to a deadlock. So we have four conditions that will lead to a deadlock, and they are known as Kaufman's condition. Kaufman's conditions. Okay. First is mutual exclusion. This one. Then you have hold and wait. Then you have no preemption, and then you have circular wait. So mutual exclusion, hold and wait, no preemption, and circular wait. These are the four Kaufman conditions that will lead to deadlock. Mutual exclusion is only one process may use a critical source at a time. Mutual exclusion. Hold and wait one means the process must be allocated some resources while waiting for others. No preemption means no resource can be forcibly removed from a process holding it. And circular wait means a closed chain of process exists such that each process holds at least one resource needed by another process in the chain. This is Kaufman condition that lead to a deadlock. So what deadlock avoidance strategies do, they try to at least block any one of these conditions so that deadlock should not happen. What is the long, short and medium term scheduling? Long term scheduler determines which programs are admitted to the system for processing. Let me tell you. See, you have here say number of processes P1 to Pn. Now you choose some P1 to Pk or some say n process from these P1 to Pn. Say you choose X process and you decide that these X processes will be executing. So who chooses this process? Say you have 50 process and you choose 10 process that these processes will be executed. So long-term scheduler determines which programs are admitted to the system for processing. So it controls the degree of programming actually. And since it goes for long, that is, it is called as long-term scheduler. And once admitted, these are jobs right now. These are jobs. But when they are taken by long-term scheduler, they are known as processes now. Medium-term scheduler does what? Is a part of swapping function. So this relates to the process that are in the blocked or suspended state. So they are swapped out of real memory until they are ready to execute. So the swapping decision is based on memory management criteria. So what middle-term scheduler does, it decides which process needs to be swapped out and which needs to be swapped in. Short-term scheduler does what? Short-term Short-term type scheduler, also known as dispatcher. Well, short-term scheduler and dispatcher, they can be different also, but mostly dispatcher is included in the short-term scheduler. So now you have chosen 10 processes from these 50 processes. Okay. Now this short-term scheduler will decide that which process makes it makes the fine-grained decision of which process should execute next. So which of these 10 will execute next? This is a decision of short-term scheduler. So this scheduler is invoked whenever an event occurs. So it may lead to interruption of one process by the preemption. What is turnaround time and response time? Turnaround time and response time. See, response time is once you submit a process and the first acceptance or result comes. While if you talk about the turnaround time, it is the interval between the submission of the job and its completion. You submitted a job and now it is completed. Between that, it might have been in CPU burst, it may be in input output, So once you submit it, and then it completes, the time is turnaround time. While the response time is the interval or the time or the duration between the submission of a request and the first response to the request. The first response. What are the typical elements of process image? The typical elements of your process image is user data, user program, system stack, and PCB, process control block. User data, these are the modifiable part of user space. So this may include program data, user stack area, and program that will be modified. User program, these are the instructions to be executed. System stack means each process has one or more last and first out stack associated with it. So this is used to store the parameters and calling addresses for procedures and system calls. While the PCB is like a register. You maintain a register for a class. So a PCB is actually an information table which is needed by the OS to control the process. So it contains various aspects of processes. What is TLB? Translation Look Aside Buffer. TLB. When you're talking about a cache system, the base address of the last few reference page is maintained in a register which is called as a TLB. That aids for faster lookup. So TLB contains those page table entries that have been most recently used. Normally each virtual memory references causes two physical memory addresses, one to fetch appropriate page table entry and one to fetch the desired data. So using this TLB in between, this is reduced to just one physical memory access in case of TLB hit. What is the resident state and working set of a process? Resident set and working set of a process. Resident set is that portion of the process image that is actually in real memory at a particular instant. Resident set is that portion of the process image that is actually in real memory at a particular instance, while working set is the subset of resident set that is actually needed for execution. You can relate this to the variable window size method for swapping techniques. When a system is in safe state, even if it fails, there is no catastrophe. Can you tell or can you assume it to be a safe state? A set of dispatchable processes is in safe state if there exists at least one temporal order in which all processes can be run to completion without resulting in a deadlock. So what happens here? What the definition I gave is actually the generic definition of safe state, unsafe state. But safe state or safe sequence is the set of dispatchable processes. They form certain set, and this is the order in which all the processes can be run to completion without resulting in a deadlock. Now, what is cycle stealing? Cycle stealing. Does it happens with respect to say DMA? See, we encounter cycle stealing in the context of DMA, direct memory access. Either the DMA controller can use the data bus when the CPU does not need it, or it may force the CPU to temporarily suspend operation. So this is the forcing the CPU to temporarily suspend operation. This technique is called the cycle stealing because the DMA wants transfer, so it needs the control of the data bus. You have to know that cycle stealing can be done only at specific breakpoints in an instruction cycle, not always. What is meant by ARM stickiness? If one or few processes have high access rate to data on one track of a storage disk, then they may monopolize the device by repeated requests to that track. So this generally happens with the most common device scheduling algorithm like LiPo, SSTF, SeekScan. So high density multi-surface disks, they are more likely to be affected by this than the low density ones. This is called ARM stickiness. What are the stipulations of C2 level security? C2 level security provides for discretionary access control, identification and authentication, auditing, and resource reuse. What is busy waiting? It means busy in while waiting, or busy in waiting, or busy still waiting. So the repeated execution of a loop of code while waiting for an event to occur is called busy waiting. So the CPU is not engaged in any real productive activity during this period, and the process does not progress towards completion because it is busy, but still it is waiting. Explain the most popular multiprocessor thread scheduling strategy. There are various thread scheduling strategies in multiprocessor. First is your load sharing, gang scheduling, dedicated process assignment, and dynamic scheduling. What is load sharing, multiprocessor thread scheduling strategies? In load sharing, processes are not assigned to a particular processor. A global queue of thread is maintained. Each processor, when idle, selects a thread from this queue. Note that the load balancing refers to a scheme where work is allocated to processors on a more permanent basis. What is gang scheduling? A set of related threads is scheduled to run on a set of processors at the same time. Number of processors, number of threads. On a one-to-one basis, closely related threads or processes, they may be scheduled this way to reduce the synchronization blocking and minimize the process switching. Group scheduling predated this strategy. Dedicated processor assignment is it provides implicit scheduling defined by the assignment of thread to the processors. So for the duration of program execution, each program is allocated to set of processor, which is equal in number to the number of threads in the program. And processors are chosen from the available pool. Dynamic scheduling, the number of threads in the program can be altered during the course of execution. These are the popular multi-processor thread scheduling strategies. When does the condition rendezvous arise in our present context? So in message passing, it is the condition in which both the sender and receiver are blocked until the message is delivered. Rendezvous arise. What is a trap and a trapdoor? Trapdoor is a secret undocumented entry point in a program used to grant access without normal methods of access authentication. So a trap is a software interrupt, usually the result of certain error condition. What are this is non-preemptible. What are local and global page replacements? Local and global page replacements. Local replacement means that an incoming page is brought in only the relevant process space address, while the global replacement policy allows any page frame from any process to be replaced. So this second part is applicable to variable partitions model only. Define the latency, transfer, seek with respect to the disk I/O. Seek time is the time required to move the disk arm to the required track. This is a track. This is a sector. So these are number of tracks. So going to the or coming to the required track is seek time. The disk will rotate. So the rotational delay or latency is the time it takes for the beginning of the required sector to reach the head. Required sector to reach the head. And some of this seek time and latency is the access time. And the time taken to actually transfer a span of data is transfer time. Describe the buddy system of memory allocation. Buddy system. Free memory is maintained in linked list, each of equal size blocks, and any such size is of 2 to the power k size. So when some memory is required by a process, the block size of next higher order is chosen and broken into two. And you have to know that the two such pieces differ in address only in their kth bit. Such pieces are called buddies. So when any used block is free, the OS checks to see if the buddy is also free. If so, it is rejoined and put them into original free block linked list. What is time stamping? Time stamping. So it is a technique which was proposed by Lamport, which is used to order events in a distributed system without the use of clocks. So this scheme is intended to order events consisting of transmission of messages. So each system, say I in the network, maintains a counter Ci. Every time a system transmits a message, it increments its counter by 1 and attaches a timestamp Ti to the message. So when the message is received, the receiving system J set its counter Cj to 1 more than the maximum number of its current value and the incoming timestamp to Ti. At each site, the ordering of message is determined by the following rule, because we have done some timestamping. Say for message X from site I and Y from site J, X will precede Y if one of the following conditions hold, that is Ti is less than Tj, or if Ti is equal to Tj but I is less than J. This is timestamping. How are the weight signal operation for monitor different from the semaphores? If a processor in a monitor signal and no task is waiting on the condition variable, the signal will be lost. So this will allow easier program design. So what happens in semaphores? Every operation affects the value of the semaphore. So the weight and signal operation should be perfectly balanced in the program. In the context of memory management, what are the placement and replacement algorithm? Placement algorithm determine wherein available real memory to load a program. Where is available? The memory, real memory, which is where we can load a program. The common methods in this placement is first fit, next fit, and best fit. While the replacement algorithm, these are used when the memory is full. And one process that is, or say the part of process, need to be swapped out or taken off to accommodate a new program, a new process. So the replacement algorithm determines where are the partition to be swapped out, or which are the partition needs to be taken out. In loading programs into memory, what is the difference between load time dynamic linking and runtime dynamic linking? For load time dynamic linking, the load module to be loaded is read into memory, and any reference to the target external module causes the module to be loaded, and the references are updated to a relative address from the start base address of the application module. And with runtime module, this runtime dynamic loading, some of the linking is postponed until the actual referencing is done during the execution. Then the correct module is loaded and then it is linked. What is demand and pre-paging? Demand and pre-paging. When demand paging or with demand paging, a page is brought into memory only when the location of that page is actually referenced during execution. And with paging, a page is other than the one demanded by a page fault or bottom. So the selection of such pages is done based on the common access pattern, especially for secondary memory devices. Paging a memory management function while multiprogramming is a processor management function. Are these two interdependent? Yes. Paging a memory management function while multiprogramming a process management function, these are two interdependent. What is page cannibalizing? Page cannibalizing. Page swapping or page replacement, these are known as page cannibalizing because you are actually eating them or you are replacing them. What has triggered the need for multitasking in PCs? First of all, increased speed and memory capacity of microprocessor together with the support for virtual memory and the growth of client-server computing. has triggered the multitasking. Why? Because previously the multitasking was reserved, or it was only done with the mainframes, etc. But now it is with PCs also, and now it is an integral part. What are the 4 layers that Windows NT? We are talking about Windows NT because it's a landmark OS. Have in order to achieve independence, independence means these 4 layers. In order to achieve independence, hardware abstraction layer, kernel, subsystem, and system services. What is SMP? Symmetric multiprocessing, SMP. To achieve maximum efficiency and reliability, a mode of operation known as SMP is used. With SMP, any processor threads can be assigned to any processor. Symmetric multiprocessing. What are the key objects-oriented concept used by Windows NT? Encapsulation it uses, object class and instances it uses. Is Windows NT a full-blown object-oriented operating system? Give reasons. No, Windows NT is not, because it is not implementing, or it is not implemented in object-oriented language, and the data structure resides within one executive component, and they're not represented as objects, or it does not support the object-oriented capabilities. What are the drawbacks of MVT? It does not have the features like ability to support multiple processors, virtual storage, and source level debugging. What is process spawning? Process spawning. When the OS at the explicit request of another process creates a process, this actually is called as process spawning. If some certain process explicitly request OS to create a process, this is process spawning. How many jobs can be run concurrently on MVT? 15 jobs. List out some reasons for process termination. There are various reasons. Say normal completion, time limit is exceeded, memory is unavailable, bounded or violated, protection error, arithmetic error, time is overrun, input-output failure has happened, invalid instruction, privileged instruction, data misuse, operator or OS intervention, parent termination. What are the reasons for process suspension? Reasons for process suspension is swapping, interactive user request, timing, parent process request. So what is process migration? It is the transfer of sufficient amount of state of process from one machine to target machine. This is process migration. What is mutant? In NT, Windows NT, a mutant provides kernel mode or a user mode mutual exclusion with the notion of the ownership. What is an idle thread? Idle thread. A special thread a dispatcher will execute when no ready thread is found. So, dispatcher does this idle thread. What is FTDisk? It is a fault-tolerant disk driver for Windows NT. What are possible threads a thread can have? Possible state, you can say, a thread can have. Ready, standby, running, waiting, transition, terminated. What are the rings in Windows NT? Windows NT uses protection mechanism which is called the rings, which provided, this ring provides by the process to implement separation between the user mode and kernel mode. User mode, kernel mode. So you have rings. What is executive in Windows NT? In Windows NT, executive refers to the operating system code that runs in only kernel mode. Okay. So these are a few questions we have taken today. Thank you so much. Take care.